See
What's
the
going
time out of the
on,
ring is
Brandon? Brandon the Cannon Adams. How are you?
What- What's going on? How we doing?
Oh, we're good. We're good, man. Happy to have you. Hope everything is going well for yourself.
Yeah, it's going well. It's going good. It's going good.
So, man, talk to us, man. How has life been since the last OTX event?
Um, Bittersweet. Honestly, man, bittersweet. Going after that fight, I mean, it was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that I had. Going into a fight and then walking away from a fight that you know you've done enough to win, but not get your hand raised. That's one of the craziest feelings ever. Uh, I got kids. I got kids. I'm the owner of a boxing gym. I have my own boxing gym, which I train youth. I train other fighters. Um, Everybody's seen the same fight that I saw, and entirely too many people. Not only did we see all of the low blows. I mean, it happened to me, but we see all the fouls and none of it be called. It was a lot of injustice that fight. So. But even after that, even then, you saw how much boxing IQ I had, how much I still outworked him and didn't get my hand raised. It's just that's the part of boxing that's hard to understand. So I had to get over that. I had to get over that, and that's why I'm able to still smile. You know what I'm saying, and be optimistic and look forward towards something bigger and a lot greater than just that.
So, you guys officially filed the grievance with the commission, correct?
Yes.
What exactly did you file? With who was it filed, and what was the result of all that?
Okay, so my promoter, Art Palulo, from Banner Promotions, he's the one who filed. Actually, fighters weren't able to file. It had to be a promotional dispute, and we just filed that we didn't want them to overrule the fight and make me the winner. We just wanted it to be a no contest, and then for them to force an immediate rematch because I didn't want to just slide by being called the victor of something that I know I can like, yo, let's fight again. I'll give not only overtime what they want, but that was a great fight. It was still a good fight. It was still a real good fight. Let's give that to the people again. Let's give that to each other. So just in case if he doubted, if he had any doubts in his mind, or if he felt he was triumph even without the fouling and the low blowing, and he could prove that again. It should have been a easy call to make the fight happen again. Um, Georgia State Athletic Commission did not want to look into it, even though the referee had put a statement in. And this is all, if you can do the research and find out, so you can see that I'm not just making this up. But the referee stated that he did the best that he could from the angle that he was. He said that he should have looked from different angles, but in the moment, because of the warehouse we were fighting in, the studio we were fighting in, he couldn't hear that I was being low blowed. And because he couldn't hear it and he didn't see me reacting like I was being low blowed, he didn't know to call them as for being low blows. So basically, he admitted that, he missed a lot of errors. And had he seen them errors a whole lot earlier, not only would he have called them out and gave him warnings, but he would have also taken away points and or disqualified cats. And even if it was a disqualification, I would have looked forward to fighting him again. I guess that's the pride in the fighter. Because I wouldn't have wanted to just go by like, oh no, I won by disqualification because you fighting dirty. I would have been like, no, let's run it back, and next time, you know what I'm saying, fight as clean as you possibly can, and let's make it happen. So, Georgia State Athletic Commission, in my humble opinion, they dropped the ball. They could have done something great in Georgia again and getting us to fight again, but they didn't look into it. They didn't want to shake up. I suppose they didn't want to go against the referee because that they're all kind of together. Even though the referee doesn't work with the athletic commission, they didn't want that upon their resume as going against other. going against a dispute because it doesn't look good. Promotion going against the referees, I suppose.
So Brandon, I got a question. This is Johnny. I'm Johnny from the Hangout Spot. Nice to meet you, champ.
Likewise.
So in sports, the most overused cliche, especially in team sport, when they lose, is okay, we lost, but it's on to the next one. But obviously, in boxing, it's different. It's not a team sport, right? It's one on one, mano a mano. How difficult it is to take a loss like this, and how long does it take you to get over it, right? Because you don't have the luxury of a team sport to say, well, we got another game tomorrow where we could just wipe this one out and try to get that dub. It takes time for you to get back in the ring. So did you lose any sleep? How long does it take you to get over it? And do you ever get over it?
Um, yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. After the results of the fight, I mean, it didn't all set in right then and there. I mean, like, cause I mean, it happened because I knew I won. I knew I outworked him. Like, him leading with his head, trying to pin me up against the ropes. If you give him credit for just leaning his head, like that's an MMA fight. That's a UFC fight. That isn't boxing. Boxing is hitting and not getting hit. You know what I mean? Like even if I'm on the ropes and I'm working off of the ropes, that it's hitting and not getting hit. And right after that fight, me and my team, we everybody was sad, and I was very disappointed. But I wasn't really so much disappointed in myself. Honestly, I was just really disappointed in the judges not being able to analyze what I was doing because that was some great work. Honestly, like that was some real good work. I had an opportunity to go watch the fight multiple times on YouTube afterwards, and I was like, dude, how could they not have seen that? So then, what I did was, is as I reviewed the fight, like in my own mind on what I remember what the referee, I mean, excuse me, the judges were. The only judge that had me winning was the judge who I had my back towards. So how did this judge get it right? But then the other judge, this judge over here, she didn't see it. And then there was another judge that was closer over there on that side, which saw. And the craziest thing about the fight is even on when you watch the fight and you listen to when he were punching, it didn't sound, the sound effects wasn't so much there for when he were throwing his punches because it was mostly like push punching. But when you see me hit him, you hear the noise, you hear the skin smacking, boom, boom, boom. You see the movement that he's making, showing that my punches were doing more dividends than his. And so for me, like right then and there, I immediately analyzed the whole fight. So as I was analyzing the fight, my team kept telling me immediately, like, "Yo, man, the WBC people," which is crazy because I don't want to over jump and overstep, but the WBC, there was a lot of people from the WBC there at the fight, and they was like, "Hey, man, we had you winning that fight. This is crazy. Like this is crazy, so much to where." Now, today, in today's time, right now, I'm ranked number 15 and he's ranked number 16. So the WBC didn't view that as him being the winner of that fight. Like, yeah, he won on paper, but they was like, yo, that performance right there, you got to give credit when credit is due. And now going back to the question that you just asked. So for me, um, it hurt it even harder when when the petition came back and they were saying they were like we overlooked it and we're going to go ahead and not go against what Tom Thompson had his statement. We're not going to look into it. We're just going to keep the results for what they were or for what they are. And that honestly was which like that almost broke me because I was just like, damn, dude. Like, not only did y'all say I lost this night that night when I know I didn't, but it was more so of that when the Georgia Athletic Commission just was like, well, hey man, we're not gonna go and switch the outcome of this fight. That right there almost broke me. Because I was just like, dude, man, like I don't deserve this. I work so hard. I'm the fighter who don't get the opportunities. I'm not a part of a big promotion. I'm the fighter, who you don't hear about. Like all the fighters, respectfully, you hear a lot about fighters. I'm one of the many, excuse me, I'm one of the many fighters you don't hear about. But I've worked my butt off and every time you see me get in the ring, I get better. I get better. You see my game getting better. You see me as a fighter, I'm progressing every time I get in the ring. Every time I get in the ring, you see progression, and I have reached, or I am reaching, the level of championship quality in viewers' eyes. Like, this is how my team have already seen me. This is what I know I could produce. But now people are starting to see that, and me knowing how it can just get snatched away, and then I can get shelved, and or because I'm low risk, low reward, high risk. I'm a puncher. I can move. Um, I'm a veteran now. It's funny, but I'm a veteran. I got 30 fights, 30 professional fights, and all my fights. I've always had to be the guy to take big risks, take real big risks to get there, up in there and fight whomever they put in front of me. I had to be the yes man. So this result right here, everybody tells me, no, something big is going to come from this. Something big is going to come from this. And I'm like, man, I knocked out Boychuk. The only man to knock out Boychuk. Nothing came from that. But then you see Boychuk on TV fighting for all of these big fights. Respectfully, Virgil beat Boychuk in a fight that was close. Some people had Boychuk winning, and then some people say Virgil outworked him. Whatever the case is, these are the kind of fights that my man is getting, that he's lined up with. And everybody I see, like who I fought, like I fought Jamal Charlo at his weight, 160, and I fought him at the peak of his career. Like, he was the man. Like, when I fought him, everybody was expecting for me to get, what I'm saying, a steamroll within the first or second round. We went all 12. Not only did we go all 12, and it was a very competitive fight, we, like, I walked out damn near looking the exact same that I look right now. Yeah, there were punches thrown, and we was hitting each other. So I'm one of, I could be, I had, what I'm saying, if I get that push, I could definitely be a premier fighter. I'm, like I said, the fight that me and Cats had, it was a good fight, but I won. And how to recover from that, man, it's mental. Is you have to be very strong mentally. And so far, I don't know how strong I am, but I know I'm doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, you and I know each other forever. I've been following you since the freaking Bucksino tournament, and this has kind of been the story of your career, where you don't get what you deserve for one reason or another. How do you keep doing it? Like, how does this not make you just say, I'm gonna just stick to my gym and be cool? Like, why do you keep dipping your toes back in this fire?
You want to know what's the funniest thing, first and foremost, about what you just brought up? Like, literally, a guy was just asking me, he was like, yeah, Nestor. And I was like, you want to know what's the funniest thing? But I met him long time ago, back when nobody knew him. And I said, look at it, you're doing well, man. So congratulations,
Appreciate it,
first
man.
and foremost,
Appreciate it.
man.
Yeah, I always talk about that tournament, man. Some big names was there. You, John Thompson, Willie Monroe. You're kind of the only one fighting from that. From that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, ain't
I mean, you
it?
and Andre, because Andre was there, but he wasn't part of the tournament, so
Right,
he's
right.
kind of fighting.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, dude, I've always felt like it was unfinished business. Always felt like it was unfinished business. I've been in the ring with all everybody's favorite fighters for the most part,
For real.
top guys, and me being in the ring, rubbing elbows with listening to what the coaches, the vital information that they give in their fighters, learning how to pick that and then to pick it and make it work for me. Um, and just being in the gym, always training, man. I never really partied my whole life. I never really partied. Um, I never drunk, never smoked. I didn't hang out too long. It's the craziest thing ever, man. Because I grew up and I hit, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's fortunate because it grew me up a lot. I grew up in Watts. I grew up, I'm saying, in the projects. I was always in and out of the projects. And the most trouble I've ever really got in was with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who grew up, uh, with that one parent, that one mom, you know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, everybody who grew up with their moms, they knew their moms, you know what I'm saying, was pretty heavy handed when it came to punishments and stuff, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, every household knows that their mom was the one who was whooping a lot of ass, you know what I'm saying? So
No lie
I never
there.
wanted to
No
get in
lie.
I never wanted to get in trouble or get caught. So I had to be real sneaky growing up because I didn't want my moms to whoop my ass, and that's just the honest to God truth. So uh, I grew up outside. Like everything that I've learned, honestly, man, my block wasn't all that big, and I never went too far off of it, so I didn't know a whole lot. But I made sure that everything that I was doing, and it's the craziest thing, man. It was tailored around. And I didn't know that I was gonna grow up to be a boxer, but it was tailored around me being, being very athletic and always slap boxing or going body with somebody, and it's crazy because that fueled a competitiveness within me that I didn't know that I actually had until I start boxing. I boxed relatively late. Started going to a boxing gym when I was 18. Turned 19, amateur fighting. Turned professional 21. um, and I've always heard how young guys start off at the age of 6, at the age of 8, 10, 12. So I was always up against knowing that. And for me, man, I grew up just believing like if I worked hard enough, and I can get I can get what the absolute best has gotten. It didn't matter who it was. The only people that I was looking up to when I first started boxing, and it's the truth, man, is the only people I knew about. Well, I knew of a lot of fighters, but the only ones I studied was Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, and I was trying to duplicate their success. Not so much about like outside the ring, but what I saw them doing inside, and that competitive spirit that I saw that them two had when they were training, when they were fighting, and they were doing everything that they were doing. Um, it, it it grew into me for the sport, and that's why I could say, like, for me, I never gave up. As many times as I have every reason to give up. I have every reason. I've been shelved from the first Boxino tournament. I didn't fight. Um, what was it for? It was 2 years. I came back and fighting Boxino. Then it was 3 year layoff, and then I came back and then I fought in the on the contender, and then I fought Jamal. After the Jamal fight, it was like almost another 3 year layoff, and then I fight
I
Sonny
gotta ask,
Duverson.
man, because
Go
I
ahead.
know I know I feel I know why, but I know my audience is like, how the hell did he lose 7 years of his career, almost 8 years? So is this because you're with Artie Paluto, like you're stuck in this contract? Like, how is it that you're losing 3 years at a time, bro?
All right, so I'll just say this: I can't ever.
Yeah, I don't want you to get
Uh,
sued. You feel me?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I was about
there's
to say, but
obviously guys.
not.
I mean, look. I can say what you can't say. I know fighters
Yeah,
be stuck in them contracts. I know
yeah,
Andre had to go through hell to get out of that. Algieri is retired because he can't get out of that motherfucking Star Boxing contract. You know, Artie Palulo, Star Boxing, they two different entities, but they the same in terms of like how they do business. They've even
yeah,
I remember back in the day they even had partnerships with certain fighters, like where they was co-promoting certain fighters. So like I know those old contracts from back then are tough.
yeah. So I'm 100% tell all the youth that want to become fighters, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you have somebody who understand contracts, read the fine print. Um, Me getting involved with Banner Promotions was me starving for an opportunity to make money because while I was fighting, I took a few fights in Mexico. I was fighting fights where I was just only making just $1,000, just $1,000, and the fights was spreading out. And at the time, my management was like, "Look, dude, we can't be spending a whole lot of money. We can't be spending too much money um, because I don't get that back. I didn't have a big time manager, and looking back upon it now, and what I see in developing a fighter. I mean, it does take money. Don't get me wrong, it does take money. But I mean, you could use resources, and I feel like my manager, now that I know what I know now, he didn't have resources. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to have done to get me moved. or to get the right eyes to see me. That's a different story. But to answer your question, I was always willing to fight. I was always in the gym. I'm like probably one of the only guys that everybody make, it's good fun, but everybody make fun. They poke at me like, damn, Brandon, he's always in the gym training like he got a fight coming up. That's my job. I'm supposed to always. So in 3 years that I had off, I didn't take off. Funniest thing ever. I swear to you, I did. I never took time off. Everybody called me a gym rat. Everything, it didn't matter. Am like in my mind, I just never like if I miss a day, I'm my worst critic because I'll walk past a mirror and be like, look at this fat ass. Like it's bad, bro. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like if I eat and I didn't go to the gym, all of a sudden I feel bloated. I'm like I'm getting down on myself. It's the craziest feeling ever. Um, Most people are starting to relate to that because now the in today's time everybody goes to the gym. Everybody's working on what I'm saying self development. So now everybody knows like when you miss a day at the gym, you feel crazy. You feel like you don't feel like yourself. You feel like you need a Snickers. You know what I'm saying? And me being a fighter, we're crazed. We're staring in a mirror all day, and this mirror is supposed to reveal our flaws, and we're supposed to be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. And then you got a coach who's gonna always remind you of what you need to work on. So, like that all of that right there, that chemistry right there, it puts a lot of whether we know it or not, depression on us. And I kept going to the gym because if I didn't go to the gym, then I would have been depressed. If I didn't go to the gym, then I would have been stressed out. So for me, not fighting, I always believed that I was gonna get the call. I just never knew when. And me relying on a promotion that doesn't have the same firepower as the top promotions, it definitely put me in a tight space because um, over 30 fights and the guys that I fought, I think it's safe to say that I am some kind of talent. I fought against if I'm not mistaken, I fought against 3 Olympians and I did well against all of them. Uh, Eugene Kitroff, Daniel the Jesus Sensation Edward, um, uh, Francisco Veron. These are 3 guys that are Olympians that fought for their country that made it to the games, and I beat them. Um, I fought against guys who were competing to be in the Olympics or were John Thompson, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the guys who was supposed to have fought in the Olympics. I mean, it was just a guy like right. He was supposed to have been, I guess, like a substitute just in
Alternate.
case. Yeah, he was alternate just in case. Willie Monroe, he had a whole lot of amateur experience. So I mean, I do pretty well. I've done pretty well in this sport, and I just always felt like, nah, man, this isn't it. This isn't it. I can go so much further given the opportunities, and I want to take advantage of those opportunities, just because I was one of the guys who had to work so hard to get it. I didn't get the promotional love. I didn't get, and because I didn't get the promotional love, a lot of people didn't get to see me. So when fans do get to see me, because it's so sporadic, it's like it's big spaces between when they see me. They don't know how to love me. They don't know how to feel about me. And if I was given that opportunity, if opportunity was presented, then a lot of people would get behind me because they're like, "Yo, man, this little dude can fight. This guy can fight, and he's fighting the top fighters, and he's fighting the top guys." So I'm looking forward to them those opportunities. Still, I believe they're there. I just, eventually they come around.
Champ, obviously, you're in the position that you in. So, would you be open to a Jihad Tucker at 60? You fought at 60 versus bigger names. Would you be open to 60-pound fights with not the elites of the world, but definitely the future? Jihad Tucker, a Troy Isley, um, Truck Simpson. These new guys at 60. Kyrone Davis isn't a new guy, but he just got a WBA strap. He may be fighting Yoenis Hernandez. Yoenis Hernandez, another 60. It seems like 60 now is starting to become a division, a named division again?
Um, well, I guess that's a good and bad part of me. Since I didn't grow up in the amateur program, uh, my whole career I would go fighting from 60 to 54 because I didn't 60 to 54. I mean, it's a different. They're both different weight classes, but to me, it's all the same. A fight is a fight. So I wouldn't have. I'm not the guy like I'm saying. I'm not in no position to turn down no fight. So somebody at 160, like yo, Adams, move up. Um, I'm like, this is what I do. This is what I want to be a world champion. I want everybody to know how skilled and how talented I am, so they can know that um, this is what we produce. This is what can come of us working extremely hard. So I'm not going to turn down no fights. I haven't turned down any fights, and I haven't been in position to turn down no fights. So I'm up for fighting at 60, 54. I wanted to fight a couple of fights. I wanted to make a little history at 54 and then fight at 60 anyway.
I got a couple questions from the people. First one is from Toledo Treese that says, "Would you be interested in a fight with Brian Mendoza since his fight got called off? What are your thoughts on Charles Conwell?"
Uh, t- okay, Brian Mendoza. If he needs somebody to fight, and they call me, let me know when. I like Charles Conwell. He came down. We actually have the same manager, so we're very familiar with one another. He came down for us to spar. I think Charles' future is bright. I think he can. I think he can shake up and do a whole lot of great things, and I think he's on his way of actually making that happen. And he's just a few fights away. If they ever give the make the call, I think he will be able to to do something extremely big.
Okay. All right. We got a few more. First one here is from Polo Buck. Uh, actually, Meach says Brandon Adams won the Cats. No, excuse me. Brandon Adams won. Cats was constantly throwing low blows even after being warned. They should have took a point, but for some reason that didn't happen. Shaking my head. So no words. I mean, no question. Just his thoughts. Next one is from Ali and Dago that says, Brandon, who are your top three favorite fighters of all time?
My top three favorite. All right. So when I was a little kid, it was Mike Tyson Punch Out. That was like one of the first boxers that I knew of. And so Mike Tyson. When I started watching boxing, it was Floyd Mayweather. It was Floyd Mayweather. But anytime I heard anything about boxing, it was Muhammad Ali. So them will be the three people that influenced me the most, that I studied and watched and I admired the most. Um, Later on down that line, it's a few other fighters, of course, but those three guys were honestly a real big reason why I got involved into boxing. And then when got involved, I started watching just how they carried themselves. So yeah, those guys.
I got Benny Hinn says Cats decent, but I wasn't feeling the decision. Want to see you again. Honestly, I think that you'll beat the brakes off of Joannis Tellez. Does this matchup interest you? He is ranked. Shit, I think he got a regular or interim already
He
in the
got an intern.
WBA.
Yeah, intern.
Of course. Like I said, man, I'm in no position to turn down nothing. I just cracked. I'm ranked number 15 at the WBC. Um, I would love to get in the ring with all of these guys. Whomever that we know as for being the top guys, them are all the guys I want to get in the ring with. If I have the opportunity to fight the top 10 guys, literally all like in a row, like as if this was Fight Night Champions or something like that, I would love to have the opportunity of fighting all of those guys just so I can put my skills towards those guys, and so then we can all look back and see it. We could all view it. We could all view it. Win, lose, or draw, but I don't feel I'd lose. I mean, most fighters don't feel they lose, but honestly, man, like I said, I'm just as fast as the fastest fighters in our division. I'm just as strong as the strongest guys in our division. And I got great ring IQ. Throughout my whole career, I haven't took a punishment. You know, like I haven't took no beatings. You can hear within my conversation. I can speak pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I speak in front of a lot of folks. I, I do pretty well. I do pretty good. So I'll be looking forward to fighting all these guys.
Um, New York Bullet, what up, champ? Which fights made or can possibly be made do you look forward to the most for the rest of 2025? So I think he's not just talking about for yourself, just in general, fights, period, that have been made that you're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to seeing how well Crawford does against Canelo. That's gonna be a real tough fight. I feel like Crawford's gonna have to really be on his A game.
Have you
Um,
sparred Canelo being from Cali? Has he ever called you in?
no, I never sparred with Canelo, but he's the guy. That's another guy. That's one of my favorite guys. So I studied Canelo a lot. I watched him a lot. Um, and it's the funniest thing, man, is I helped Bivol for his camp to fight against Canelo. Uh, and it got to a point to where his Bivol's camp was like, "Hey, Brandon," like they let all the sparring partners go. Um, and they start asking, they're like, "Yo, Brandon, like if you were fighting Canelo, how would you go about fighting him?" And so then they asked me as a reference, and I told them. And the funniest thing ever, man, is the game plan that I gave them is the game plan that they used when they went into the fight. We studied it and went over it while we were sparring, and he was having some success while we were sparring doing so. And Bivol is still Bivol. Let's never get it twisted. I'm not saying I gave him some kind of blueprint like that, but I told him if I was him, this is my approach. And they took it, they used it, they turned it into Bivol. They turned the game plan into Demetrius Bivol, and it worked. And they hit me up afterwards. It was like, "Yo, look, bro, you was right," and it looked good. So um, I can't wait to see what's their game plan and how they plan on fighting, because Terrence isn't as big as Bivol. Terrence is not, Bivol is 175. Terrence 147, now 154. So, we've yet to see him fighting up against a guy that's as big as he is. But, Canelo doesn't move the way he used to, but he's still a bull. He's still a bull. And he's still coming forward, and he's still got ring IQ, and he's still Canelo. So I can't wait to see that fight. Um, I've been seeing now just recently. It's the funniest thing, man. Is like 20 minutes right before I sat down with you guys, I saw Brian Norman
Mm-hmm.
and
Brian Norman.
Boots. Yeah, Brian Norman's father and Boots. Them talking. I would love to see them two guys fight. Uh, because they're both competitive and they both feel that they're at the top of their game, and that's usually how it goes. Can't wait to see those guys fight. Do I think it'll happen this year? Maybe not. Maybe not, but that is a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing. Shoot, man.
All right, I got Meech
Yeah,
TV. Brandon, this is Meech from Watts, California. Laugh out
I
loud.
knew who it was.
What inspired you to get into boxing? Who's your favorite boxer of all time? And how were you able to keep steer around all the distractions growing up in Watts, California?
That's my cousin, man.
Oh,
That's my
that's
cousin.
crazy because he's going to fight on my amateur card. Did he tell you?
Yeah, I know, I know, I know, I
Okay.
know. Yeah,
Oh,
that's why
dope,
I
dope.
laugh. Uh Man, it was like I said, it was me being introduced to Mike Tyson because I was short, and that's all everybody always talked about is how Mike Tyson was short, fighting against all these giants. But he was a giant puncher. He was, in, wasn't the biggest man in the world, but in stature, what he stood for. But like I said, man, Floyd Mayweather, the boxing, the pure sport. When he was pretty boy all the way until he was money. And then growing up, honestly, man, he knows. he could tell you, man. Even before I was in the gym training, like before I was boxing, I was like fixated on trying to become something that I even wasn't. I was doing push-ups in the neighborhood, and we was we like I said, man, we'd be slap boxing, going body. We was just like everybody wanted to be great. Every like whether if it was football, basketball, like we were very competitive, and we all was pushing each other in my neighborhood to like become something, but there was no real direction to like what to become. And for me, man, this is the part where I was called a little bit of a weirdo. You know what I'm talking about? Because I would be watching Dragon Ball Z. I go and I watch like anime and stuff like that, and I would see how they were fighting, and watch a lot of martial art movies. Jackie Chan, like by far, is like one of my favorite guys to watch. Rumble in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? Whooping like he's whooping ass with accidentally. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff is like that paved the way for me to pay very close attention to combat sports and wanting to make my mark. So it was I would get inspired and motivated throughout my neighborhood, throughout my community, and I would use guys like my cousin Meach and a lot of people to get to where I wanted to go by helping them kind of be competitive with one another. And I wish we all knew how to do that. I didn't know that that's what I was doing until I got older. And I wish we all knew how to do that, because then I wouldn't be the only one that'd be right here talking to you about fighting or you know what I'm saying, just being a professional athlete or just being real strong minded.
Next one is from Kentrell. He says, "Hey champ, Kentrell from the United Kingdom, but I'm in America. As a fighter, I know it's frustrating to get robbed on the scorecards. As a fighter, do you think boxing needs open scoring? That way people don't get robbed like you."
Yes, I think open scoring would be great. It'd be tremendous. But another thing that a lot of folks was talking about is it's a lot of fighters. It's a lot of fighters that are retired. It's a lot of fighters who I think the judges should be people who are hip to the actual sport, know and understand what's happening, what's going on. It doesn't matter whether or not if they like a certain style of fighting, but they recognize and understand what boxing is. Um, I think judges should have had at least a certain amount of amateur fights. At least you mean to tell me you got judges who's just like like where you come from, and how did you just become a because you did something online, like you just looked up something, like is that's all you need to get credentials? Like they need fighters, in my humble opinion. Not only do you need that, for the scorecards to be open, but you also need for people who are very familiar with the sport to sit down and judge these fights. Because I think that we wouldn't feel so
You know,
bad if
I've
it's
brought
fine.
that up. I've brought that up. I go to the conventions. I brought it up at the WBC convention specifically, but it's a lack of fighters applying for those jobs. Fighters are not applying to be referees or officials, but I'm with you. I think that if we had more former fighters as actual referees, actual officials, they know what they seeing. It's different from me reading it in a book, watching it on TV. If I've never done it, I don't know. And I don't like these referees. Like, again, if you've been in the ring and you see someone shoving Brandon Adams, you know to give a warning because it's quote unquote up to the referee's discretion, but you also know it's illegal. But they let so many things fly under that gray rule of referee's discretion, quote unquote. Well, the referee didn't see it. Bro, I don't like that, bro. Dirty fighting is dirty fighting. People like to, wash that over by saying, oh, well, it's a fight. Nah, it's a boxing match. You trying to say it's a fight so you could do dirty shit like forearms to the throat or, the inside of the glove to your chin. It's
Yeah,
just a lot of
huh?
crazy things that people are allowed to do because the officials are not stern enough. But it's
So
also because they're not fighters.
just to add to what you were saying, um, from what I hear, a lot of fighters don't go apply for it is because there's like this. It's like a lot of fighters don't have that information to know that that's what we can do. I think if there was a way of us getting that information out, I think we'd see a lot of retired fighters that people who aren't doing much of anything on the weekends. I think they would come up and
Like,
apply
think
for
about the Tank situation. What retired fighter would have not gave Tank a motherfucking knockdown?
it.
But
Right?
and
Yeah.
I don't want Willis to feel bad. I love him. He's one of the most iconic refs we have.
Yeah.
When it comes to influence, his faces are already become part of the sport. They're iconic, but at the end of the day, a knee is a knee, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you stole that. Like, Lamont's life would be different today had you scored that a knee. Think about that. He'd be a totally different person, different tax bracket, different endorsements and sponsorships. Fuck, probably a new woman. It's not fair, bro. It's not fair what these dudes do to them. Again,
Yeah.
yeah, man, you need to tell some of your fighter friends, be referees. Someone needs to start, because we don't even have one. There's not even a famous boxer turned official that we could be like, oh yeah, well, so and so's a referee. Like, who is he?
That's real, man. I'm telling you, man, that information is not out. I know because we crack jokes. Like I've been around fighters and we talk about it, but they be like, they be like, yeah, man, but the commissioners ain't gonna let that ride because they think that. But now that I know that that's a thing, that was just people talking. That was just blowing smoke up our ass, telling us that we couldn't do so. But I wonder if there's a way that we can do it. We can ref and still be active fighters, or that's probably the thing they
That's
wouldn't allow
probably
us to do.
something to take up with the commission, but that would be
Yeah,
dope too, man. That could be a marketing standpoint too, like an
yeah.
active ref fighter. I
Cause
got
I
talk
do it. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
But they
I got talk
probably call that
trend.
a conflict of interest, though, right?
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just like
Maybe.
it
anything else in the
depends.
workplace.
Maybe you could commission for one commission, but not fight in that commission. So, like, hypothetically, Brandon applies for California State, but he can't fight in California State. That would be tough, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You right.
I got Talk Trends. Brandon, this is Talk Trends from Tennessee. Has Shane Mosley ever asked for the rematch?
No, that was like a one and done thing because me and Shane was we was real close before the fight. We was close. That's my boy. Shane's my boy. He's like my brother. He is my brother. So he did what he was supposed to do to make it to the finale, and so did I. So we fought, and we never look back. Like we know we fought each other. We motivate and we push each other. But other than that, I don't think he's ever thought of it because I know I haven't. It's I don't care what nobody say. People be like, "Oh yeah, you fight your friends, and you fight. That's a part of the game." But it's never a good feeling. It's never a good feeling. Every time when me and Shane was hit each other, I had to psych my mind. Come on, man. And as we was fighting, but at the same time, man, it's a moment of seeing somebody that you're close with, and I don't care what nobody say. We were close enough to where when we were fighting, it's just moments where I know he hesitated and so did I, just because we are close like that. And I don't care, sparring be sparring, but even when you sparring your boys, and if you putting a whole whooping on your boy, and I'm just speaking about just two random people sparring, but they boys, that's I don't care what nobody says, man. It affects you. It affects you. So, um, no, I never look back. Shane never contacted me. He never cracked a joke, or we never joked about fighting again. We Shane and I actually we acknowledged that we fought each other, but we never ever talk about or play with the situation of going back to fighting one another.
All right, I got Quest from Virginia. What's up, champ? Would you rather have the Flash speed or Hulk strength?
Man, I love the way he gonna go DC and then Marvel too. He's something else. He's something else all by himself. Um, I don't know, man, because I've seen the Flash kind of, what I'm saying. I've seen him hit people, and he hit people like he was the Hulk. Like just because he was moving so fast through the vibration of how quick that he was. I don't know. I think I don't know. Just if you were talking about just speed and just power, I would probably go with the Flash. just because of what his speed was able to generate and what he can do with his speed. The Hulk is strong. Don't get me wrong, he's strong. But if it's just power and him just being strong, then I would rather take what the Flash can do because he was able to go into the past and into the future because he's that damn fast. So I would take the Flash.
I
All
got a
right.
quick two-part in this.
Go ahead.
So again, you've been in there with some really good names, right? So not counting the last fight, if you had one fight that you can pick to do all over again, like, damn, man, I know what I did wrong. I wish I could have this fight back all over. What would that fight be? And then the second part of that is if you had a fight that you could replicate because everything went well, you was cooking, you was doing your thing. That one fight that you wish you can replicate every time out.
Okay. First question is the fight that I wish I could take back. All right. Well, it's just I wish the timing was different. It was when I fought Jamal Charlo. When I fought Jamal Charlo, I dislocated my left middle knuckle. So when I was fighting him, my hand was messed up real bad. I tried to hide that so I can continue to fight. I've never made this amount of money. I've never been on this platform. I didn't want to miss the opportunities because I've been shelved so many times. I was like, ain't no way I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna not take this fight. So I took that fight. But one of the biggest things that really affected me is right before I fought Jamal, my wife went into pre-labor with my son. So my son was premature. He was prematurely born, and I was going from the gym straight to the hospital because he was born like 2 months before he was supposed to be, and that put a big strain on me and my whole family. So going from the hospital straight to the gym, then going to like going right back to the gym with my guys, like it was a every day. I was doing that every day until I flown to Houston. I flew to Houston with a week, like 7 days to prepare for the fight for the rest of that in Houston. um, but mentally, man, it was a lot of complications during the pregnancy, after she gave birth as well. So, like my mind, I was focused on the fight, but I was way more focused on wondering if my wife and my kid was doing well. It got to the point to right after I finished fighting Jamal, like I didn't complain. It was nothing. I just was like, all right, and we went to the back. We did an interview, and I was just like, yeah, well, because I was so caught up on what was going on back at home that I wasn't really, I wasn't like as locked in as I could have been or that I should have been because of that.
What was the
All right.
second part? You didn't answer the second part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And then there was a fight when I was fighting. The fight that it's actually it's two fights that I did real well. That I was proud of myself. One of the first fights was when I fought Alex Perez. Um, he was the because when I fought Willie Monroe was the actual first left hand fighter I've ever fought. In the amateurs, I only had 5 amateur fights on record. They put 7. I got in the ring 5 times. And I never fought against a southpaw guy. When I fought Willie Monroe, I had to learn on the job how to fight a southpaw guy because the guys that I had at my gym at the time that were southpaw, they were all too light in weight. They were way too light in weight, and I wasn't in a place to where I understood or knew how to work with them. So I didn't want to be like beating down guys who only weigh 120. And Willie Monroe, how he fights, those guys honestly couldn't help me. But they were southpaw, so we were trying to prepare for Willie Monroe sparring with guys that that were only like 120 and 122. Uh, so when I went and I fought Willie Monroe, I had no experience or IQ of fighting a southpaw. When I fought Alex Perez, which was basically the next fight right after I fought Willie Moreau, excuse me, it wasn't, was it? No, I fought Lecon Byfield, which was an orthodox fighter. The next fight after that was a southpaw guy, which was Alex Perez. And Alex Perez was known for being tough and strong, good southpaw fighter. And I fought him, and I felt I did real well to make up for my fight that I had with Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe
I
taught
know
me
you're
a
proud
lot.
of me. Look at all this.
Pardon me.
That's all good. It's all up. But Willie Monroe showed me a lot. He showed me a lot of things that I didn't like, just a perspective that I didn't have on the sport of boxing. He reminded me that it was a sport, not a fight, and I have to learn the technicality of the sport and not just approach every fight like it's just a fight. So in the midst of me doing so, that was able, I was able to remember everything that I learned from the Willie Monroe fight and take that to the Alex Perez fight. And so I was real happy with my performance with Alex Perez. And then there was another fight where I fought a guy who I used to spar when I was he was already a professional, Vito Gasparian, which was he was the second guy that I fought in the tournament. Vito Gasparian was already a professional, and I used to watch him whoop people's butt in the gym. And he used to carry me when we sparred. He used to just carry me because I wasn't, I was green. I was just learning how to box, and we wind up lining up to fight each other. And I was like, yo, this is about to be crazy. This is a guy that I spar who I knew was carrying me because I wasn't as skilled yet. He's already a professional. I only got just a few amateur fights in me. At the time, it was like I only had like 3 to 4 amateur fights, and Vito was beating up all the professionals where we were at in the valley. Like he was between Hollywood and he was at Justin Fortune's gym. So everybody used to go there for sparring. Um, and he used to whoop everybody's butt. And when he and I fought, like the fight was so different. I pretty much had my way. He couldn't stop me. He couldn't stop nothing that I was doing. And so it would be of those two fights.
All right, I got V Dash in Atlanta. Salute, champ. Been watching you since the contender days. Do you think you could switch and put yourself into a more coach role at some point?
But that's actually what I'm doing right now. Like I said a little earlier, I have my gym. It's Cannon Nation Boxing Gym. Um, and that's what I'm doing. I'm helping the youth. I got a few amateur fighters, and now I'm starting to work with professional fighters. I'll be in Sonny McGuinn, excuse me, this April 19th at the Commerce Casino. He's going to fight against Umar. I'll be in his corner. I've been helping him here and there, but he wants me to start to take a bigger role in helping him. Uh, I'm helping Lawrence King in his development. These guys are all bigger than me. That's the funniest thing ever. They're all like light heavyweights, but they trust me. They believe in what I'm showing them. So it's working. It's happening.
All right, and the last one here. Actually, not the last one. We got a few more if you have some time.
Okay, for sure, for sure, for sure.
This one is from 450. He says, what is your social media presence? You're a likable personality, but you need a good push behind you. But
Well,
don't depends on nobody to make you blow up. Build your name and up in your city and online. They can't deny you forever.
all right. So I understand what they're trying to say. Um, my social media presence, I don't be I don't be on social media like caring about being real crazy. Just because I do know that I'm being like I'm a lot of kids role model, so I make sure that I keep everything, you know what I'm saying, clean, classy for the most part. I don't do a whole lot of trash talking because it has never really presented itself. But truthfully speaking, I think had I been on a bigger platform, like I was saying, man, just being on a bigger platform that does wonders for a lot of these fighters. If you look, these platforms are always showing or putting out their premier fighters, and therefore the viewers to always see. And me not being a part of the bigger productions or bigger promotions, excuse me, that's just a missed opportunity. So I mean, I'm charismatic. I go about it, you know what I'm saying, my way. I feel confident. I can go to sleep at night. I feel good, you know what I'm saying, with myself. Um, like I said, not only do I got, my own kids, I got a lot of kids now. I am a gym owner, like I said, man. So it's extremely important, man, that I don't guide nobody a way that I wouldn't want nobody to guide my kids. So, that's why I don't do a lot of trash talking. But if you ever say something about me, I'm saying I make sure, I'm saying we I'm definitely gonna clap back.
For sure. Champ, how beneficial was the Contender Series for you? Like, did you feel like that was the most popularity you gained, the most people noticed you? And if so, do you believe that boxing is missing that and we need a Contender Series every year, twice a year?
Um, Actually, a lot of people who know of me from the Contender actually come from overseas. Nobody really in the United States viewed it that much because they released it on Epics.
Yeah, it was on Epix Network, and not a lot of us
Yeah,
had it. I had got Epix just to watch it. I
yeah.
had to get Epix to watch it.
So a lot of folks didn't know that it was on Epics, but they had an opportunity to put it on Netflix. Had they put it on Netflix, I don't care
Damn,
who
are
you
you
were.
serious?
I don't care who you were on that show. As long as you were on that show, you would have been big.
Wow, I
They
never
didn't.
heard that. I didn't know they
Yeah,
could
well,
have had.
I'm.
I didn't know they could have put it on Netflix.
They had an opportunity to put it on Netflix, man, and the reason why they didn't put it on Netflix is because of what was Netflix offering. um, they told them, but the turnaround for them putting it on Netflix, it was going to be huge. And I'm not
Damn.
on that side, but I can tell you from some of the people who were speaking to me about it, they were like, "Yeah, man," and like Netflix really didn't offer us much, so we went a different direction. While they were telling me this, I said, "Are you kidding me? We could have been on Netflix. You guys is when it says executives, producer, and all of this stuff that would have been on Netflix. You guys would have like even if y'all didn't do
The next one would have been better.
and they did they so in my opinion, of course, I'm gonna tell you, they dropped the ball.
Of
They dropped
course.
the ball like a mud. Like, yeah, super. Super.
Yeah.
Everybody in the whole world to know who every last one of those 16 combatants were, are, and would have wanted to keep up and following all of our lives and all of that stuff. That's what boxing need. Boxing need, like the Contender, but boxing needs it to be on a platform like Netflix, on a platform where the producer and the production team knows and understand the bigger picture on a scale of knowing like, yo, this is going to be huge.
Yep.
And they didn't see it. For whatever reason, they decided not to go that direction. It was also offered to be on Hulu. I remember that one too. It was also to be on
Damn,
Hulu.
that was another good. That's crazy.
But
I'm
the
not a
one that
fan of
off
Hulu. I literally just, I got it, but when I had to buy ESPN to watch boxing, so I got the package. But still, it's a bigger platform. It's more
yeah,
eyeballs on Hulu. They got those cop shows everybody loves, the fucking Chicago
yeah,
PDs and all that.
not on Epics.
Tell me about it. I got a few more. We got Mike Rios from Chicago. Given that you've had bad experiences with contracts promoters, would you possibly give this new TKO boxing promotion company a chance to represent you in the future?
uh
He don't understand you can't get out of that contract.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
That's a
I think,
lifetime deal, fellas. He in there.
yeah, and nothing actually ever really changes. Like the amount is the amount. Um, you know, and I'm sure they'll make exclusive contracts for exclusive fighters. I don't think so. I think it was to a certain extent, it was a good thing that they did bring this out because now you have a lot of people going whoa, and then turn around and go and see to the other promoters. This is why y'all can't be moving the way y'all move because then you'll have a guy who can come in. You know what I'm saying? Who sprinkles some cash off the elbow. You know what I'm saying? Sorbet, sprinkle the cash off the elbow.
Salt Bay.
Yeah, who sprinkle the cash off the elbow, make everybody run over there, and then present something like this. And the only people who will probably possibly want to get involved in this are, and there's a saying, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, what you call club fighters.
Hmm.
The club fighters would love this. Club fighters would love to be a part of this contract because they like shit, man. I'm not the most talented, but I'll fight my ass off. Those kind of guys because the contract and the amount of money that they're going to be making, they can keep fighting within their own little local space. But when you're talking about guys who are talented, extremely talented, or very gifted, or has great pedigree, has great teams, and you don't want to just lock yourself down to something like that at all. You want your options open. You want to be able to go ask somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's very experienced. So you want to learn as much as you can about uh, the outside of boxing that makes boxing inside so important.
Mr. Perfect in Detroit or Michigan, right? Same shit. But he says, "What's your favorite female fighter today?" Yeah, he's from Detroit. Big box in Detroit. He says.
Who's my favorite? Hmm, that's a tough one, man. My favorite girl fighter today. It's a lot of great girl fighters. That's a crazy question. I don't have one. They all great. Well, it's a few of them. I don't want to. Ashley Bombers, Clarissa Shields is the young lady who just won, who's also a part of OTX. She just beat the girl from
Oh,
overseas.
Tierra Brown.
Tiara Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Like yeah, it's a lot of great fighters, and they all, respectfully, they're doing their thing. But I don't
Uh,
have a favorite one. No.
okay. Oh, Wizard in Phoenix. What up, Brandon Adams? Oh, Omar from Harlem by way of Phoenix. What's your favorite puncher combination to throw or land in a fight? And have you ever used the sauna on a Thursday night for a weigh-in Friday?
Yes, I have used the sauna. Yes, I have.
You say
And
that
one
like
of
you
my,
know it's wrong.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, no, I was saying that, like, that's like that's like a boxer's necessity. The sauna.
But on a
Uh,
Thursday, is that normal for boxers to use it on a Thursday for Friday and one for a Friday
for
weigh-in?
Fridays, yeah, yeah, it's a little shakeout. Like I was about to say, like, if I don't need to do anything, if I don't need to work out, and they like, yeah, man, you a pound and some changeover, um, just go in the sauna, sit down, and just sweat out that last pound. It's like 10 minutes, 10, 15, honestly, 10, 15 minutes, and you done. Yeah, just make it as simple as possible instead of you taxing your body, working those muscles a whole lot more than they need to. No, you can save that for the fight. Go to sauna. Um, at least I know I've done that. I've done it before. I'm no stranger to doing it.
And it's
Uh,
worked out well for you, right? Because some
yeah, yeah, I'm
people, we've been
saying.
asking that question for at least a good 30 days, and every fighter has answered it in a negative way, like, "Oh, if I would, I wouldn't do it."
Oh, well, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Every performance that you see me fight, you couldn't tell I was in a sauna. I was always high in spirit. I was always high in energy. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? I seemed intelligently inclined. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't affect me. It was never a cut to where I was just dying. For me,
Yeah.
uh, I can't vouch for everybody, and shout outs to all of those guys who didn't have to do it. But I'm telling you flat out, the Cannon did it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It was part of some of my lessons, and for my favorite combination, it's doubling up on the hook. I like touching people to the body, boom, and then bringing it right back over the top. I love
Mm.
doing that. I love being able to do that just to see their body kind of give that little motion. It lets me know that, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing is working. It's effective.
Lord Mac and Cheese, champ, you talk so well. Have you ever thought about? Excuse me. Have you ever thought of broadcasting after fighting? Salute to you and your career.
Appreciate that.
I'm assuming he's talking about commentating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I took it for as well. Yeah, if it presents itself, of course I would love to. Like I said, man, because I started boxing late, I had to do a whole lot of homework. I had to do a whole lot of studying and learning, and not just in the sport of boxing, man, but growing up and only knowing just two blocks of your neighborhood, and then growing up and understanding that the world is way bigger. I'm saying? You have to learn how to communicate. You got to understand, I'm saying? Everybody didn't come from your neighborhood. And the only time you always hear me say, I'm saying, is if I'm talking to folks, I'm saying? I feel extremely confident and comfortable with. But for the most part, I make sure that I articulate my words and make sure everybody from all walks can understand when I speak.
Nah, you definitely can articulate the hell out of yourself. I got James Benitez in Atlanta. I would like to apologize. I was never high on you as a fighter, but your resilience is unparalleled. I don't know if you'll get another title shot, but if you do, seize the moment. So, no question, just showing you some love. And the last and final one is from Octo. Yo, champ, what's your favorite music artist? And give us one movie we should watch.
My favorite is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
It's Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And then my favorite movie, uh, my absolute favorite movie, is man, I love a lot of movies, honestly, dude. 'Cause I've said and I've watched tons of movies, but one movie that I've always found myself watching countless of times, honestly, man. Like I said, I would say it was Rush Hour, and it was Rush Hour One. That's my favorite movie to watch. It was Rush Hour One.
All right, that is definitely a great movie. That is all the questions, man. Brandon, I want to thank you obviously for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and it's been a pleasure following your career. I hope you continue to get some opportunities, man, and you know it works out a little better than it has been, man. You deserve more.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me.
For sure. Give out your social media. By the way, you still working with Coach Cam? Is she working at your gym yet?
Yeah, yeah. Coach Cameron, sir, she's at my gym. She's my business partner at the gym.
Oh, perfect. Because I know
We
she
there.
works
Yeah,
with
yeah,
some
we there.
women. I know she works with some women, and I'm looking for a female fighter. And she's got some women over there that's heavy set. No disrespect. I got someone that is on a weight loss journey. I don't know if you could, maybe have someone in your gym for this young lady. Because it's a little bit difficult to match in a heavyweight division, but she wants to fight on my card, and she looked like she got some skills. She never fought though, so we trying to get her first amateur bang. You got something for her? She says she could lose 100 pounds by August. I know that's tough to believe. So, we looking to try to match her with anyone 220, 180.
Hey, listen, bro. I'm just trying to figure out if those were sauna pants while she was working, because I wasn't gonna doubt her. You know what I'm saying? If them were sauna pants, then you know what I'm
No,
saying. If
she
them
she's
box
working,
bras,
man.
yeah,
She's
that's what
working.
I'm
I don't
saying.
doubt that she won't lose it. She told me she lost 15 pounds last month, and she thinks she could do it. She thinks she could lose 100 by August. I mean, August is only less than 4 months away, so that's tough. But
Yeah, shout
she
outs to her,
working. She
man.
light on her feet, man.
Yeah, look at her. Look
I
at her.
need to get her a fight. I want
Damn.
this girl on my card, man. And
I'm gonna
she
see
got
him.
the
I'm gonna
big
ask
social
around.
media following. Look, she got like 40,000 followers.
Hey, hey, man, she grinding. Just
Word.
keep it a buck, bro.
But
She
but
grinding.
again, like I said, I seen Cam working with some ladies doing pad work. Y'all don't got no heavyweight females over there.
We have a few girls, excuse me, women. They just kind of start getting involved in the sport. They'll say yeah because they competitive as hell, and
Yeah.
they grew up playing basketball. Like we got
Well,
two
remember
twins.
this girl's never fought. She's never fought. So it's an even fight. She's never fought. I'm gonna find out how much experience she has sparring, but she's never fought. Her first fight will be with us. It's been a weight loss journey, and then she fell in love with the sport by trying to lose weight.
Okay. Well, look, DM me. And you had asked where they could find me. I'm Cannon Nation, Cannon Nation on Instagram, Cannon Nation on Facebook, uh, BA the Cannon on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I don't have Twitter fingers though, man. I'm never there.
By the way, your last outfit was fire, man. I forgot to even say that. That was dope.
Yeah, it's the super shredder. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
whole
that
the
was
whole
fire.
overtime. You know what I'm saying? It was a evolution of shredder, and that's where I went. You know what I'm saying? In a way, super shredder gonna lose to some. You know what I'm saying? A little grease. Some little dude, come on, man. Little Spartan, you ain't about to win. All right. But yeah, we gonna I'm gonna talk to her and I'm gonna see which girl, you know what I'm saying, wanna do so. Cause we got a girl named Britt, Ashley, um, Kelly. We gonna I'll talk to her about it. We're gonna definitely, and then we're gonna reach back out to you and let you know.
Let's do it, champ. I appreciate the assistance. Thank you for coming on, man. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you for having me.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon the Cannon.